wasn't giant letters, but I think it's 2 to 5. Hello again, sports fans, and welcome to the chat. April 8th, week number 878, as we count down toward 900 episodes of Sports Chat. Corey Smith is here. Sean is here in the booth. I'm Jeff Cook. Welcome to the program. Really want to thank my cousin Jack Cook for chatting with us, all things Philly sports. And thanks to modern technology, you can live in North Carolina and still listen to Philly Talk Radio if you want to. So that was fun. And I understand that Robert and Carl tried to call in, so we missed your calls. Hopefully you'll call in. We can get caught up on all we missed together. Like you said, a lot of low-hanging fruit this week in the world of sports. Where do you want to start?
Let's go with the positivity. Let's go with the shining star. I'll let you kind of take the wheel, and I'll.
Okay, well, I'm going to start one we didn't talk about before coming on the air, because I think you deserve to give these other names. Maybe it's too obvious, but I mean, I think you have to recognize excellence wherever you find it, right?
Absolutely.
And I just want to congratulate Matt Heiser. Had to go through the process of having his position reopened, and it took the school board quite a long time, left him kind of shifting in the breeze. So the board unanimously decided to retain him as coach, and now they can get back to the weight room and do all those other things. So, I mean, that almost says like I should put the Gettysburg School Board on the hot seat, but I'm not going to do that.
It's all resolved there. So,
well, at least
all
for
that
the
distraction.
time being.
Yes, that.
So we wish Coach Heiser the best, and I did a story in the Times about my last rugby game at age 55, 17 years ago, and Matt Heiser was on our team that season, and he played in that game, so he was on. The team picture was in the Times. And I'm thinking, will that help him or hurt him? And we won the game, and so hopefully it didn't hurt. Let's put it that way. It was unanimous, so everybody thought he should continue as coach. So who do you got?
Well, I'm gonna start it off with. I mean, we can go with the smorgasbord of shining stars. Then the hot seat. Hot seat was challenging for me there, but the first shining star, I'm going to go with Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin. Now the all-time goal scorer at 895. Played the same amount of games as the great
I found that
Wayne
quite
Gretzky.
interesting. But what separates the two is the assist, which I didn't realize was so lopsided. I mean, even if you take away all of his goals, Gretzky still leads the league in assists at points, because you get, 1 point for assist, 2 for a goal. And and plus in hockey, you could get the extra hockey assist. There could be as many as 2 assists. Not more than that.
Yep.
Right? It's just 2.
I think just 2, yeah.
Okay. And maybe you don't have to have 2 assists on every goal, but I guess it would only be if it's like pass, goal, and not if somebody's skating down the ice. Kind of like dribbling negates the assists in basketball. Okay, so great. I didn't realize he was so close, and the guy's just a beast.
Yeah.
So
doesn't miss
probably
too
the
many
most
games,
popular Russian in America right now. At least for most people. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so another low-hanging fruit from New Oxford, PA.
Thomas Houck.
Tommy Houck. Little Tommy, all grown up and a national champion. Pretty exciting stuff. And I mean, it always says he's from New Oxford. He did attend. He was a Colonial, grades 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12 went to Perkins and Prep. Now he's a sophomore, so he could.
So yeah.
I mean, you figure he's going to come back next year, especially with NIL. It's not like you got to go to turn pro to feed your family. So yeah, we congratulate him. I saw his stats. I mean, it's a low-scoring game, so every point was pivotal. Yeah, I think he had 5 points, but
I
even
think
Clayton had 11,
I think
so-
the biggest key point in that game was when Florida was down by 6 at one point.
I thought it wasn't more than that at any point?
They were down by 12,
Okay.
but this play where he had that block
Yeah, yeah.
and got the layup and got the foul to make it a 3-point play there. So
Yeah.
that play was critical with that. There.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I mean, he six man, right? I mean, he
Off the
didn't
bench
start,
there, yeah.
But great job by him, and we'll see what he does. I mean, now, so that kind of segues into hottest seat in sports. So I have a name I'm going to float out there with an explanation, Cooper Flagg. Obviously, he's going to be Player of the Year, projected to be the #1 draft pick. I'm not saying he's a villain because he missed that last shot, but I'm putting the refs there too because that over the back call, that was a killer.
yes.
And to me, you can't make that call in a national semifinal game in the last 15 seconds.
And you
I
just,
mean, if the guy fell down or, he kind of adroitly reached over the top and grabbed the ball. It was
And
a timing play.
you kind of look at, Duke, going down the stretch there, just couldn't score. I mean,
That's right. It wasn't just
yeah.
throwing flag. I mean, Proctor missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
Yep.
That killed him.
Yep.
And then I think was that on the rebound where Flag got called for over the top. They make both, and
I mean, when you're up by 6 with 33 seconds left in the game, you should win those games. And just, having Houston go on a 13-3 run with the last 2 minutes of the game, it doesn't help causes either. But it's
Well, I
just
mean,
the fundamentals.
Houston and Florida both had just hang in there, hang around strategies, and they kept it close, and then they made big plays at the end.
And, this wasn't the first time for Florida to come back from a deficit. They were down, with Texas Tech.
Auburn.
And Maryland.
Right.
Be down by basically double digits in the last 3
it's
games
like,
that they played.
Okay, we got them right where we want them. We're down by 10. Yeah.
In the second half, when they were playing Texas Tech, it looked like, the ride's over, and then they just, go on this 8-0 run, 9-0 run, and then tie the game and then take the lead. So, both teams came back from, adversity. And I think
Yeah.
that was the thing with Duke was, during this whole tournament, they weren't
They
really
breezed, yeah.
tested.
Right.
They got
It's like a
through
women's game. The women's games were all one-sided.
all the way through there.
Well, how about, maybe we should put Paige Beckers on the Shining Star list. There's no limit.
Yeah.
I mean, and
12th,
Gino, his 12th title, that's pretty amazing. That's more than Wooden. John Wooden had what, 11?
11.
Wow.
So if we're going with the hot seats, I got one. I'm going to go with the baseball. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh Pirates. It's not what they have done on the field. It's what they did on the right field wall. So on the right field wall, it
21
is
feet.
the 21 feet, the Roberto Clemente
That was his number.
number there. Now they had a signage that had Roberto Clemente on there. They took that off. It was just a temporary sign from 2020 to 2022, or 2022 to 2024, 3 years with that sign there. They put Surfside Vaca, right where it took place of the Roberto Clemente,
The wall's still 21 feet tall.
21 feet there. So it had an uproar of people, being upset about it. The Pirates have, took the Surfside ad down and they put the Clemente sign
They
back up there.
reinstated
Yeah.
the Clement, well, that's good.
Yeah, I just,
Or
for
I
something
thought it
like
had
that.
something to do with the DEI business,
Yeah, it's
like,
just, I mean, something with that there, Clemente with the Pirates.
Yeah.
You don't need the ruffle feathers with that there. So when I
All
heard
right, well,
about that.
That's a good one. We don't have a caller, or else John, or Sean, we do?
Yeah, I
We
just
have
wanted
a
to get-
caller?
yeah.
All right, welcome to Sports Chat. Hello. That can only be one person. When I hear that, it sounded like chimes.
think that's the Robert.
The Robert? Hey, THE, what's going on? Hello?
Mr. Cook,
Yes, sir.
I have a trivia question for you.
You have a what?
A trivia question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint though. I'm going to give you A, B, or C.
I'll take C.
Okay, but I ain't for safe though. What year was the first famous bridge built around the backstretch of Way's Grove?
I have no idea.
I'll
19.
give it A, B, or C.
All right.
1943, 1947, or 1952.
1952. Since I said C, I'm just going to stick with C.
1947.
And Mr. Cook, you would be right.
I figured
1947.
after the war, they had a little extra money. World War II's over in 1945.
There we go.
Plus, you weren't sure what year to come up with for C.
I know.
I detected a little hesitation. So, well, that's great. What do I win? $1,000?
Pride.
Also, I want to share some other things with you.
Now you're hard of hearing. Go ahead. What?
If we would have had a racing, I would have given you the top 5 finishing of the order of the racetrack this week.
Well, why don't we have
Rain going up.
an imaginary top 5?
I wish we could.
Danny Dietrich,
Freddie Raymer.
Freddie Raymer, Deweese, Lance Deweese. Who else do we know? Okay, let's see if we have some other names here. I know they can't be too far away. Okay. So if they would have raced, go ahead, Robert.
Also, I want to get this out of my mind too. I'm going to say it's going to be 156 ejections.
156.
156,
250.
256. Okay, so we have
Wow.
256, Robert. Corey says 205.
I got the number for week 2.
I said, what a perfect segue. I have 100. Cousin Jack, 180. So go ahead. What do we have for?
So the
ET.
first week, after that, 4 games and, that such, we had 1 ejection.
Yeah,
A
slow
week,
start.
we're up to 2.
That's it.
2.
One, you can almost write down the name of the person.
Yeah, it was Chris Bryant was arguing a third called strike.
Oh,
So-
he's had a tough go of it, that
Yeah,
poor guy.
yeah.
Used
So
to be a budding superstar, and now he's
arguing.
trying to stay in the major
yeah.
leagues.
So we're up to 2. So maybe next week we're at
3.
4. Kind of doubling the number.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Geometric progression.
yeah. So at that pace,
I'm going to say we're going to be at 10 next week.
You think I should write that down? Is that significant?
You think we're going to go up to
10?
Whoa.
Well, so if 8 people get tossed in one game, that's 10 right there.
That just means that's.
It could happen,
Yeah.
a brawl.
Let me just double check my numbers here in case.
Every punch gets an ejection.
Let's see. Double checking. Oh, we got breaking. It's 3 now. Rocco Baldelli got ejected.
Ah.
Yeah.
What? Somebody else? You didn't make up this ET business?
Well, I have to go to the reloader and kind of go with that. I can't watch all the games.
No,
there, so-
that would be a tough
so
assignment.
we're
And
at
then you're
3
if you
now.
miss one, you feel, I watched that whole game for nothing, and I missed the ejection. Go ahead, Robert, what else is on?
And it's good.
Yeah?
I'm really disappointed in the Blue Devils, the Duke Blue Devils.
Huh. Yeah,
Disappointed in them.
you mean the
I didn't watch
choke,
that game.
the choking Blue Devils? Hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna wear my Duke paraphernalia. Mm-hmm. My Duke swag, but I guess not. Oh, ye of little faith. I mean, they were up by 14, weren't they at one point in that game?
I think 12 or 14 there, but even so, with a minute left in the game, and we said this
They
a
couldn't
couple minutes
score
ago.
for the
there,
last
yeah.
8 minutes. They didn't
Yeah.
score, or they had no field goals in the last 10 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah, especially that one-on-one. If you just at least get one, you get the second free throw, but you can't get that there, and you just give Houston
Yeah.
that extra life, and that extra life. Got
So
'em.
in the two semi games combined, nobody scored 70 points, did they? Weren't they both in the 60s?
I believe they're both in the 60s. I got to double check there. And all
pretty
three
amazing.
games, there was a comeback because, Florida came back in both their games, and Houston came back and, beat Duke there.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
just the
Well, and
persistence.
that's Houston did the same thing. They came from behind against Gonzaga, and so they were similar style teams. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like Houston had a little more depth. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give you this much. Already.
How
I'm
much?
going to give you the points for Lincoln Speedway.
Lincoln Speedway. Those results are actually in the Gettysburg Times. I don't always, because you're not. I didn't realize you were so involved with Lincoln. You are?
Now and then, but since we can't get no results at where it drove, I guess Lincoln beat Nicklin.
You got Lincoln?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Fire away.
Yeah. In convention.
In no particular order.
I was going to ask you about that. Okay. Go ahead.
Number 3, Matt Cable.
Okay. Does he drive the cable car?
Number 5 is our very own Danny Diedrich.
He made the imaginary top five too.
And then number 2 is O. Raymer.
Okay.
Number 1 covers up the Troy Waldman.
Okay.
What
Oh,
other number do you want?
4 is the only one left. I've been keeping track.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, you gotta get up pretty early to get one by me, pal. Maybe like, 8:30 or something, huh?
Michael. Aaron.
Michael Aaron?
Aaron.
Any relation to Hank?
Hey, Aaron. No.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, sir. Now I feel complete.
Oh, my. Me too.
We had a lot of that questions answered. So what?
I can sleep
what
good
else,
tonight.
What else do you have on your mind?
Let me tell you this much, though. At least we got 2 races at Fort Royal.
I didn't know that. Do they race Friday and Saturday night?
Just on Saturdays.
And do you go there?
Now and then.
Isn't that up on the way to Penn State kind of thing, up on the river, Susquehanna or the Juniata or one of them?
It's somewhere around there.
One of those rivers.
Okay. Well, how was it? I mean, can you listen? If you're not there, do they have live streams of these events? Or, I mean, it used to be, I guess, radio. To me, I can never understand listening to a car race. Here they come again, and here they come again. I mean, but that's just me. But how do you follow the results if you're not there?
I follow the results for it's called My Race Pass,
Okay.
All right.
and also My Race Monitor. And that's how you keep track of each race driver.
Sounds easy enough there. My race monitor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As how do you join? Do you have to have good character?
You have to make 5 characters, and it costs you $5.99.
$599
Sign me up.
or $5.99
$5.99
a year?
a year.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll start saving now.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob.
And you could also see the live time scoring too.
Wow.
Wow. Goodness.
Going back to what year?
I'm not sure what year they actually done that.
When the car was invented? I mean, 1900?
No, I remember like that.
All right, well, maybe just when these local tracks, maybe they were all built in the 40s. I don't know. When was Lincoln built? You could probably Google that. Huh?
About that one too.
Well, don't we have a lot of other, you said we had a lot of big agenda items, Corey. Do we have
Well,
time
I mean,
to
we
get?
we got baseball, we got NBA, we got firing in NBA.
Oh, okay.
Michael Malone got the axe, yeah, and the GM.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Joker must not have been happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he won a ring. What was that, 2 years ago?
That's
Wow.
I
yeah.
like that name that I picked out last week for myself.
I forgot what it was.
It was awesome.
I forget what name it was last week.
You forget who you were?
I know it was at the doctor for a while.
Yeah, you
And
couldn't.
then somehow I managed to get above Corey there.
Well, usually everyone,
Corey
yeah,
got past me then.
by just guessing. That's how I got past.
Well, we'll see how you do on the ET. Could be a peaceful year. In that case, I got a great
Yeah,
chance.
you're in the driver's
100.
seat right now. Yeah.
I'm going to wish for there to be peace in the valley throughout MLB. Well, how about those Phillies taking 2 out of 3? You're pretty sure the Dodgers weren't going to go 162-0.
Yeah, that was just
A matter of time.
garbage there. Yeah. They're not even on the top of their division right now. You got the Padres and the Giants.
I know.
you
What they have, those 3 teams combined, 4 losses or something like that? 5?
So it is 7. You know, the Dodgers have 3 losses. The Giants have
Wow.
2.
Dodgers lost again since they left Philly. They lost yesterday, I guess.
I mean, you know, looking at how that division is, I mean, it's not a far fetch. It could be a 3-team making the postseason there.
Well, it's early, way
Way early,
early,
yeah.
but the Giants would be a big surprise to me that they made a lot of moves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to name them, but yes, sir.
I have another trivia question for you.
Verlander, for example. Go ahead.
Hey, here's another trivia question about Weeder Grove. Ready?
Okay?
I'm going to give you A, B, or C.
Thank you. Otherwise, I have no chance.
Ready, President?
Yeah.
What year did the Saturday series begin?
2003.
2005, 2006, or 2007, or 2007?
I will take B.
I'll say 2005, A.
And what do you think, Corey?
B. Whatever that year was, B.
And Corey, you would be right.
All right.
All right. That's congratulations, Corey. We're tied in the History of Williams Grove series. All right. So maybe Carl wants to get in. Did you try to call last week, Robert?
Yes, I did. How'd you know?
I just
Our
I
sources,
felt
they're-
bad that we hogged all the time with my cousin, but we had a lot of catching up to do. So I'm glad you. Thanks for calling back and filling us in on race results.
You know what we like to talk to you guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, now, there is trivia at T.J. Rockwell.
You know what I always things to say?
No, what did he say?
I said I have a lot of things to say.
Oh, you have. Okay, well, go ahead. Let it fly. We're,
So I don't think this week they're going to get the race in neither.
it looks bad for Saturday.
It's
a lot of
supposed to be
rain.
some
I'm supposed
rainy
to go-
weather and all that
team's
there,
supposed to-
yeah.
my team's supposed to go to Baltimore and play Loyola and a bunch of other schools. So yeah. in the rain all day. Gotta love it.
So, Corey,
Yes.
so my name tonight will be WWE related name.
The Rock.
I can say CM Punk. I have nothing to CM Punk. That's on TV.
Okay. All right. Well,
I was going to guess CM Punk, but that name's already taken.
we'll figure out.
Oh,
We'll see in about like 35 minutes of who your
Did you-
name will be.
Yeah. Just for the record, I was never a professional wrestler.
You got me fooled. Yeah. Wow, that was a good April Fool's joke there.
I just had to set the record straight.
like the great Hammer Valentine.
What was that again?
The great the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, Greg's usually been up there on the top there. Yeah.
He's a wrestler too.
Yes, he is.
Looking at
And
with-
so are you.
yeah, yeah. How about the baseball news with Vlad Jr.? That extension has
What,
been
like half $1 billion?
yeah. I think it was 500 million, 14 years. That will be in effect of next year, I believe it said there. So it is signed all the way up until 2039, which is just a crazy. Just even hear numbers with that now. 2014. 14-year deal there. So, just kind of, spinning
And
through.
he's what, 26? So it's through age 40.
Yeah.
I guess his dad probably played
Taking
till
him right up to
around
the
then,
end of
so
his career.
good
So,
genes.
because he has spent about 5 years already. So, that'll take him up to basically
And-
the age
yeah.
40.
Max
season.
Scherzer's getting 16 million this year.
And then he's on the IL.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask, how long can he?
Not that long, yeah. It was
Yeah.
the first start, and then he had
Some teams
injury.
already out of starting pitching. Was that the Brewers? I read about that.
Brewers. The Rangers are kind of struggling with starting pitching or maintaining health of the pitchers there with Corey Bradford being hurt and Leiter being hurt. So they're kind of in that injury bug there. The Braves losing Reynaldo Lopez. Spencer Strider should be coming back soon there, but
Phillies Braves tonight. Mm-hmm. Braves they're. What's their record?
right now the Braves are 1-8. They won. They did win their home opener, but they have lost.
They were 0-7, so then they lost it. So now they've lost one in a row.
Yep.
7 out of 8. 8 out of 9.
Yeah, looking at the the American League East there, the Yankees have lost 3 in a row, and kind of fittingly, it was all during the day. They lost the Sunday game with the Pirates during the day, and then the
The Tigers
Tigers are all during the day.
moved those games up because it was so cold.
Cold and the wind and then the snow flurries and all that there. So
Cold this morning.
so they kind
Good,
of
we didn't
bumped
have
it
a
till a 1 o'clock Eastern start there. So they lost 3 in a row there. So there's no panic there. Right now the Blue Jays are 6-5 with the Yankees 6-5. As well as the Red Sox. So you got a 3-way tie, and then the O's are 5-6.
What's their injury report for the Orioles?
Right now it's the when Grayson Rodriguez comes back there. Right now I would say their bugaboo is their defense. They're making errors. Some of which is not on the box score, but just making mental errors that doesn't show on
Missing
the
the
card. there.
cutoff man, that kind of thing.
Throwing the first, but it goes
Not covering
and,
the base.
Just,
Nobody there, nobody home.
little things like that there. The bullpen, is a little erratic a little bit there, but
What about your closer that was out all last year?
yeah, Bautista, he was in the game the other day. He was in last night there, the close out there. But when you don't have games that are close or when you're losing by a lot, you're not going to have saves. So he has been in 2-3 times, not too many. He's been okay. During he was in during the Orioles home opener last Monday. He gave up 2 runs there, gave up a lot of pitches there, but it's a slow work in progress there. I'm not too concerned with Bautista there. I think once
So you have 4 teams within a game.
and then the Rays are 1 game back there, so it is a tight bunch right now. Just 10 games in, small small size there.
Whereas
And then looking at the AL Central,
Braves are 6 games behind the Phillies, aren't they?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So
Coach,
Yo, that's me.
there's something that I want you to write down.
Okay, pen in hand, go ahead.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, for the playoffs, this is too early to tell though. Okay? I think it's gonna be the Blue Jays, White Sox, Yankees,
As what?
and then Tigers, Royals, Rangers, Astros.
well, that's too many teams.
Well, let's talk about the Astros for a while. Jose Altuve, is he really going to be the left fielder? What's going on there
Been the starting left fielder there.
so far this year?
Yeah, he's been playing there. He's played a little bit in the infield there, but primarily it's just been at left field. Right now they sit at 4-6 there. They lost the game last night there against Seattle, against a strong performance from Logan Gilbert. He went 5 2/3. Gave up a home run to Altuve there, but I think it's just the pitching a little bit there. With the Astros, they're not. They have scored 30 runs. They give up 40 runs, so they're just kind of in that muck right now. So
So, I mean, it's how much of the game is pitching? And they've really seemed like the last few years, had a solid core of their starters and guys that could go deep into games. I mean, it's hard to sustain that.
yes, oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, what the Phillies have with Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola is wow. What I mean, they've been doing this for years. For a pitcher to get 30 starts is almost unheard of.
Yes.
There's one team that I would like to see get into the playoffs this year.
Phillies?
Athletics.
The Rockies. The Rockies.
Ooh.
I would like to see them get into the playoffs.
You want to have
See what they do.
a little side bet on that?
I don't see
No
the
response.
I don't see the Rockies making the playoffs. They're just in the toughest division in baseball there. When you're going up against the likes of the Padres, the Giants, and the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks as well as, as tough as a bunch as well. So I think the Rockies, I don't know what path they're taking.
Yeah, the Padres have some big slug guys, and their pitching staff is pretty good, right? That they've kind of cobbled together over the last few years. And Darvish, he's still in that rotation, correct?
He's on the IL. He
So
started
when
the
he is,
season
and
there.
Musgrove,
yes,
is he finally back pitching again for him?
so, he is still in the med there. So
Wow, yeah, I mean, the Dodgers supposedly have a 6-player rotation. Ohtani might be coming back to pitch in the near future.
with the Dodgers, they've just been, kind of harped with the injuries as well. With the starting pitching, they have, let me just pull it up here with their rotation. They had to pick up, I think, 2 guys from the AAA to kind of fill out the rotation.
Flaherty went back to the Tigers, correct?
So they have.
The 2 Japanese hurlers,
And
Yamamoto.
And Mitch Gross?
Yeah,
gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
So what do you think about this new rule about being the coach in the coach box now? What do you think about that?
In baseball?
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't you want to be in the coaching box? Where do you want to be? As close to the base.
I want to be outside the box.
Well, you've always thought outside the box. Why? Okay. Well,
I mean, they don't. I mean, yes, they have the box there, but they can be outside the box. They don't get.
is that a new rule? I mean, why do they put the box there if they're not supposed to stay within that friendly confines?
I mean, when you have like a runner coming down third base and they're coming home, they'll be.
You're waving them
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that
they're-
you want them to see you. So maybe
So-
do get. I don't know.
yeah,
What
I
happens
haven't-
if they leave the box? Automatic out?
Yeah, that's being out.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
believe that. It couldn't be an out.
Yeah, the other picture for the Dodgers is Blake Snell. He's on the
Oh,
IL,
yeah.
so-
Oh, wow. I mean, that was
yeah.
almost unfair when he joined the team, but
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens. Guys get hurt.
And then speaking of another pitcher that's hurt, that was the Astros. Spencer Arringhetti broke his throwing thumb, shagging fly balls. So he broke his thumb, and now he's going to be out for a while. So
So much for that.
yeah, so just wear a glove or something there. So.
Protection.
So what do you think about the NBA news about Michael Malone, being, getting the axe?
Correct me, the Celtics won last year. The year before that,
2 years ago, it was the
it
Nuggets.
was the Nuggets. And they're making the playoffs, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, right
there must
now.
be personality clash in the front. I mean, they fired the GM too.
Yes,
So it's a culture. They want who they name coach?
I didn't see that there. But,
Jokic going to be player coach?
I don't think it's going to be Jokic.
When's
but,
that last time that happened in the NBA? A player coach. I mean, Bill Russell did it. I don't know if anybody else has done it. Maybe.
I can't think of anybody, of recent note there. But, kind of looking at
That's
the
a good-
Nuggets.
Good trivia question.
They have lost 4 in a row, and they are in this, mess right now from the Nuggets. They're 47-32. They got 3 games remaining, but then you got the Clippers, the Warriors, the Timberwolves, and the Grizzlies, all 46-32, with 4
So,
games
yeah.
to go. It's going to be a mess there. So I think what I heard is if the Nuggets, because they have 47 wins to the others at 46. Once everything, plays itself out there, the Nuggets will lose the tiebreaker and they will be almost in the play-in round instead of being the 4 seeds. So,
So obviously, management thinks that they've underachieved. Why else would they get rid
yeah,
of their
I mean,
coach?
they were at the
GM.
2nd seed, 3rd seed, and they just kind of tumbled there. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games on a 4-game losing streak. Clippers are on a 4-game winning streak there, so one is descending as one is ascending there. So it's going to be interesting there, and it. You just want to avoid that play-in. The Warriors,
Sure.
the 6th seed. Clippers
It's better
the
than
5
finishing
there.
11th.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sixers are, I was figuring it out, they would be in line for the 3rd or 4th pick based on the worst record. And but don't they have the ping ball thing?
Yeah.
Ping pong ball where you have more chances if you're the worst, but even if you're the 4th worst, you could still win, and that has happened a lot.
Yeah, because right now the Utah Jazz are 16-63. Wizards have 17 wins. Hornets 19, and then
Yeah.
the Sixers with 23. But Sixers are on a 12-game losing streak. I
Yeah.
mean, when's the last time they
You
eclipsed-
look at their starting lineup, I mean, 4 of the guys weren't even in the NBA when the season started. It's really, really tough. Grimes, they picked him up at the trade deadline. He looks like he could help them in the future, but everyone else has a lot of question marks. Okay, so I mentioned Cooper Flagg earlier as a hot seat, and not so much for missing that shot, also because now Is there any chance at all he decides, I didn't win the ring, I want to come back and give it another shot at Duke? I mean, if I was, I mean, and I read somewhere he made $4.7 million this year. So if you're 18 years old and you're making 4.7 mil, what's the hurry to get to the NBA and get your, get beat up every game?
It's almost, what's your desire? What is your goal? Or how
I
quickly
mean, that's
do
kind
you
of why
wanna go?
the women stay in college because
The
NIL, Paige Becker's made more than the president this year, I guarantee it.
Or the rookie, by far any rookie in the WNBA there. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of what is his goals? Does he want to, kind of, run it back and, win it all, with Duke there? Or does he just want to be like, hey, that was a nice year,
I mean, I haven't heard,
so-
everybody's just assuming he's going pro. I just throw that out there. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my,
I think he'll
part, but-
probably end up going, going pro and
Or-
being the
or,
number one pick there.
Maluwach, the big guy. That's not the right name, but you know who I'm talking about. He's a freshman too. I mean, he could go high in the draft. You look at all those UConn guys, they did pretty well in the NBA this year. Castle and
Yep.
Klingon is doing well, and, well, we'll see. So, what else do we have? The big stories to cover. Robert, are you still with us? Oh, he's gone?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to say goodbye. Okay,
I guess you just did.
I guess I did. So he's probably watching. Robert, we'll talk to you soon.
Well, we got a Masters this weekend, so we got, we get past one big sporting event, and then now we got
Scheffler, is he good to go?
Yeah, he's
health-wise?
probably one of the, he hasn't won yet on tour. I think last year when he won the Masters, he won 3 events. So,
Yeah. And Schauffele, had 2 majors last year, so
yep.
he's a
Xander.
threat.
I think, if I have to pick somebody to win the Masters, I'm going to go with Roy to finish the Grand Slam. I think that is the one major he has not,
He's been playing pretty
eclipsed
well
there.
lately.
Yeah, he's got a couple wins so far on the tour this year, so I'm going to go with Rory McIlroy to win the 2025
Okay. You
Masters.
heard it here on Sports Chat. Rory McIlroy to win the green jacket.
Now, hopefully, I didn't put a bad juju, and he misses the cut. Hopefully, I didn't do that there, but yeah, that's where I'm going with.
And Bernard Langer, his last competitive Masters, I read about him this morning, and he talked about, I won with a green jacket, and I had a red shirt on. It was Christmas. It looked like the Christmas elf. But yeah, a lot of sartorial choices guide our fashion, and it's crucial to what we do here at Community Media. You don't have a dress code, though, I have to say.
Just
So
wear whatever,
come as you are.
yeah.
And we thank Sean so much for all his great work and here in the studio, and Corey Smith as well. We got to sign out, so stay tuned. Trivia in about 15 minutes. I'm Jeff Cook. Until then, good night, everybody. Mahalo. I'm looking for the